Alright, I'm just going to take the factoring by grouping problems from the review and kind of work them a different way using what some people call the box method. So we're going to start by writing our four terms inside of the boxes. Now we're going to look at that first row and find the greatest common factor. So between x squared and 3x, the greatest common factor is x. Then look at the second row, 2x plus 6, and find the greatest common factor there, which is positive 2. Now we're going to think through x squared divided by x. That would give us x. And then need to check and make sure that works for the bottom row. So x times 2 is 2x. So we do end up with that term there. And then 3x divided by x gives us positive 3. And we've got to make sure that 3 times 2 gives us the 6, which it does. So we have our factors. One of them is x plus 2, and the other is x plus 3. You always should be looking for a greatest common factor. So here we do see a greatest common factor of 5, so let's factor that out. So divide everything by 5. You get 4x squared plus 3x plus 8 plus 6, or 8x, excuse me, plus 6. Now we'll set up our box for the four terms that are in parentheses. So fill that in. We've got 4x squared plus 3x plus 8x plus 6. Greatest common factor of the top row is x. Greatest common factor of the bottom row is 2. 4x squared divided by x gives us 4x. Make sure it works for the bottom. 4x times 2 is 8x. 3x divided by x is 3. Make sure it works for the bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. So we still have the 5 in front. Then we have the x plus 2 factor from the box and the 4x plus 3 factor from the box. So we have factored that completely. Still looking at the box method. Fill in your terms. This time we have 10x squared minus 8x minus 5x plus 4. Greatest common factor of the top row is 2x. Greatest common factor of the bottom row is 1. 10x squared divided by 2x is 5x. Now this has to work from the bottom row. 5x times 1 is 5x, not negative 5x. So what we're going to have to do is try a negative 1 here instead of a positive 1. Now 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Let's see if it keeps working. Negative 8x divided by 2x is negative 4. And then on the bottom, negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. So we do have the correct factors. 2x minus 1 and 5x minus 4. Still using the box method on these. Again, it's your option whether you prefer the box method or just typical factoring by grouping, but If you're doing the box method, fill it in. Greatest common factor of the top row is 7x. Greatest common factor of the bottom row is 6. 7x squared divided by 7x is x. Let's see if it works for the bottom row. X times 6 is 6x, not negative 6x. So let's change this to a negative 6 on the bottom. Negative 14x divided by 7x is negative 2. Check to see if it works on the bottom. Negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. So we have our two factors, 7x minus 6 and x minus 2. Set up your box. We got 3x squared minus 5x plus 6x minus 10. Greatest common factor on the top row is x. Greatest common factor on the bottom row is 2. 3x squared divided by x gives us 3x. 6x divided by 2 is 3x, or you can check it with multiplication. 3x times 2 is 6x. Negative 5x divided by x is negative 5. Check to make sure it works on the bottom row. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. So we do have the correct factors, x plus 2, 3x minus 5. Hope you've enjoyed this video. You can check out more on my website. And of course you can subscribe to the C3 channel. So whichever one works for you, either the box method or just group the first two together and the last two together.